Beep, 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 beep. A Radio Stat Zero broadcast. Well, happy reunion. We're back once again with Rob Geronimo. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rob.
Hello, hello. Greetings, travelers. Good to see you all. Hello, Dr. Mask.
Yeah, Dr. Mask, hi. Citizen Ronan, welcome.
You salugia, my friend.
I have no idea what that means.
It means greetings or hello in Voragathian, the blood realm language that I'm making.
Oh, man, Dr. Mask, I didn't realize you were on Duolingo.
He is.
When they get that in? They got Klingon and High Valerian.
Do they really?
They do. You can get in on that language yourself.
Interesting.
I mean, have you ever used one of those language apps? From what I understand, it's not much different than like Google Translate.
Yeah, I've used it. I think they have their uses, but you're never going to be fluent.
No,
on a website like that.
I tried for about a half a year, and it was like I was learning really well. It was like I thought it was like Mexican Spanish,
okay.
And then all of a sudden there's like a weird switch, and I think it went to like Spanish, because it was telling me at one point like, "Hey, this is how you say it," and then the next time like, "This is a totally different way to say it," and I'm like, "Whoa, well, hold on, no, now I thought that was this." So they're doing different dialects and stuff in there too.
Oh wow!
So
that's
like,
really
which one's which?
Yeah,
and then the weirdest thing, cool. Like when I stopped, it was like they were going like I wish I'd taken a screen capture. It's like, that Joe Biden's a really swell guy, and I'm like, did I just see what I thought I saw?
That was one of the things.
Yeah, that was one of the things you were translating from English to Spanish and back and forth. You know, like, boy, he's a great dude, and I'm just like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?
Yeah,
it wouldn't have mattered who it was, but
that's pretty interesting.
I don't like that very much. Oh my goodness gracious! I gotta share my screen because this show is brought to you by, not a sponsor, Geronimo Draws, YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed now, hide that. If you haven't subscribed now, do that, because he has a lot, and I mean a lot of great draw streams.
Thank you so much.
And or talks and things like that. I try to see him when I can. But do you feel that doing that draw streams all the time and stuff is like upped your game?
Yes,
like
infinitely more.
Yeah. You think so? Like in terms of like art or like imagination kind of
everything.
Stuff? Like everything.
Across the board. Characters that honestly I was doing on a card end up becoming pivotal characters in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Working out designs for characters have now all just, I have to say that they've been born from these streams.
And this is just pulling it right out of the air on the stream? Or do you have an idea when you're going in like, sometimes how I want to do it?
Basic idea, but then sometimes I wing it, like for the designs of the gods in Blood Realm. Some I had a rough sketch, but then I'm figuring it out as I go, and then suddenly I'm like, you know what? Hello, Praetor. I was like, this is going to be a design I'm going to stick with, and it's been like that every time so far.
Do you keep a sketchbook for yourself? Something you carry around with you, or just kind of sit in the chair and relax?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I have a little. My notebooks are tiny. My sketchbooks are this big.
Oh, so yeah.
I could take them everywhere.
One of those little moleskin things or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I have one around here, very small, and everywhere I go, it never leaves.
So is it people that you like to draw, like when you're people watching, or is it like Blood Realm ideas?
No,
or
it's Blood Realm ideas. I'll be honest, it's just absorbing the world, being around it, and
that's interesting.
And just something may hit me. It could be the way the wind blows on a tree.
Oh,
and suddenly something there can just become something. Or
not like this fat guy drawing or drinking a coffee. I want to draw that.
You know what? That could be something. Some kind of gluttonous creature. You never know. You never know. So, you know, but sometimes I feel like drawing people. Sometimes I don't.
Right. So it's like you just get an idea for a monster. So do you sit and write down, like, do you have a little notebook for like ideas, lines, script things?
Oh yeah, all in the same book. It's just my whole crazy mind just poured out into that little sketchbook.
That's a really good habit to get into, because sometimes you have this wonderful line and then 20 minutes later you get embroiled in something, you totally forget it, and you're cursing yourself.
Happens all the time. I have to keep a little notebook next to my bed.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You wake up and you're like, oh shoot, got it.
Yeah.
This is the connective tissue for these scenes I was having problems with, or something like that.
Totally. Crucial. So yeah, these have been tremendously helpful, and just a blast, just to bounce off ideas with the readers and chat with them. So it's so much fun to be doing that. It feels like, I'm not just like sitting here, I don't know, talking to myself. Now I have an excuse to talk to myself because I'm talking to all of these folks.
Now, with my draw streams, I've kind of felt this way. I kind of wonder about you. Like, so you talk when you're drawing. Yes. Do you find that really sharpens things, because you're like splitting your consciousness, and then when you sit down to the board, like without talking and stuff, it makes it a lot better because you put 100% into what you're doing? Because I always think that, like, if you can draw while you're talking, and you can draw decently while you're talking, then that should like double. When you're not talking, you're actually concentrating on what you're thinking.
Yeah, I could see that. I have to say, I've gotten better having to talk and draw. And I feel like it does sharpen your skills. I really do. I've noticed that I finished today's sketch card in a pretty quick period, and I was like, quick time, and I was like, whoa.
Because not everyone can do that.
Yeah,
I've been told.
That's what I've been told too. Some people are like, I love your streams, and just can't. I can't draw and talk. I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, just talk and draw. To me, I don't know.
Well, it wasn't always. I mean, when I would look back at some of my old streams, and when I was trying to do this, and it was like, so
and you're just like a lot of the ums and the ahs.
Yep, and then you stop. So what was I saying? So this and this and this, and then you kind of drop off again as you draw.
Yeah.
So it's really about getting that muscle memory down, I think, which is it helps your speed. I think, like when you cut that moment out and you just get in there and go like, boom, throw those lines down.
It's true. No, you're right. I think it does for sure. It's funny. I wonder if it also has to do with me being a teacher as well, because I'm used to talking and having to. Sometimes when, say, there's 5 to 10 minutes left in class, I need to filibuster. You know what I mean? So I would say that has helped me as well. So the two are uniting and joining here.
So do you use not use Blood Realm in your class, but I mean, do you use like a lot of things in your class you practice on the board, or is it like two separate entities? Do you know what I mean?
What I do? People are saying, is it me, or is Rob's voice very low? Do I sound very low?
It might just... No, you sound fine to me. It might just be my microphone's a bit louder. I don't know.
Check. Oh, I don't know. I can raise my mic volume. Let me know if that helps, guys. I just raised my mic volume. Yeah. I hope I'm not burning into your ear, though.
Prater says his problem is having 20 notebooks with things all over. See, I usually have like 3 or 4 different sketchbooks for different things. Like I got one for pencil. Just pencil, like... I'll draw it out in red and then get into another pencil. And sometimes I'll ink it, sometimes some for ballpoint pen. Just it goes. There is no erasing. Yeah. There is no mistake. You just scribble in that. And then some for watercolor. Got a watercolor sketchbook. Okay. So I can't say that I have like you open up a notebook and it's got like half of a face on there and that whole page is ruined and now the whole sketchbook's ruined. But I mean
sketchbook ruined. Do you know what it is?
It's a playground.
Yeah, it's a playground. I don't try to keep it too tight and clean and neat. It's meant to be dirty. I in fact I hope people spill coffee all over my sketchbook. It's just the personality to it.
Your style kind of gives into that too. Like as far as
that's true.
Goes. I mean that's not a bad
bit
thing.
Messy.
It's. I mean when you look at your stuff, you can certainly see a style you're carving out for yourself. Which is a good thing. I've always said that if you can get a recognizable style, it doesn't matter if it's necessarily the greatest style in the world, but if you can get a recognizable style where people look and say, that's you, you're halfway there.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that's a tremendous goal, is to create your own look. And really, that came from just being myself. I was trying to copy other people when I was young. Not just young, but just
doesn't work.
Just trying to figure myself out. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm pretty, I like to get dirty with my work. I like to get my hands dirty. And it got to that point where I was like, that's it. I'm just gonna do this way, and that's it.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, like you look at like Rob Liefeld and.
Oh, hello. Did we lose Stack? Can you guys hear me? Oh, check. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Oh, what happened? Hello. I hear you, Rob. Okay, you hear me. Yeah. Do we hear Stat? Not Stat. Okay.
Yeah, it was like I got a little thing saying, "Hey, we're having
everything worked out. It's my channel now." Oh, there you are.
Yeah, just I got a little message saying, "Hey, your signal's a little low for a second." It's like it's back. Everything's okay.
Oh yeah, I hate when that happens.
My wife's watching a little Netflix, and maybe that was like temporarily screwing the bandwidth.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so we've got your campaign here.
Oh,
and you're dang near there, 77%, 10,000.
So close, so close, folks.
Yes, I got to ask you a question here about this record. Where'd that come from? The idea, like,
well,
that's a rare thing. I mean, some people have digital soundtracks.
Here it is.
I want to know about the record.
Here it is, and it's real too, folks. It's real.
Ooh.
Right here in my hands.
How many tracks?
So there are 3 tracks on each side, and there's 14 minutes of music in total.
Oh, wow.
So what do we have here? This is the soundtrack to Blood Realm. So I decided, what are we going to do? Well, we need a main theme, and we have the Ode to the Iron Wolves, which is the chant that the warriors sing before they go into battle. We have a theme for the Iron Wolves, a big Iron Wolf suite. And then we have a theme for each of the old beasts, the last 3 surviving old beasts that we see in Wrath of Kings. So I thought, man, it'd be cool if since they're the last 3, what if we just came up with some really epic, unique themes for each one? Mm-hmm. And I'm very fortunate that I have a very close friend. One of my best friends is he's a musician, and he's very talented. We're going to have him on the channel on Monday.
Mark your calendar.
I think it was. Yeah. And we've been working on this a while, so I would write rough drafts of the lyrics for the Ode to the Iron Wolves, and then I said, okay, here's what I'm going for. Here's what I have in the basic draft. You take it from there. And because we're just so in sync with it, we need little to no edits,
Yeah.
And he crushed it with all the tracks, and I said, you know what? I want this to be a vinyl record. All right, yeah, I could do a digital soundtrack, but is anyone going to really listen to it? They'll listen to this, something physical. And we have it. And I had to, the reason they're here early before the books is because the way it is with record companies is that vinyl pressers rather, record pressers, you need to have this ordered in advance because believe it or not, it's very in demand. It's in demand big time.
Well, I suppose with like the Crosleys and stuff, records are back.
Exactly. So they're very busy. Mm-hmm. So, and here we go. Nice, beautiful red.
That is nice.
Red vinyl. It's gorgeous and it looks beautiful. And who knows? Maybe this could be the start of more records under Geronimo Draws with my buddy and I.
I think it's the first record I've seen.
Right? It's pretty exciting.
You beat the rush.
I beat the rush, baby. That's it. So
that's mainly in the feature perk.
That's in the featured perk, and we have only about, I think, 5 or 4 as an add-on. So if you wanted to, for some reason you didn't want the comics. For some reason. I mean,
and that's in the build your bundle.
That's in the build your bundle, yeah. So you could get the comics and that. You could absolutely do that. So only either 19 or 20 left from what I know. I have to check. It might have been 20. So
okay.
But that's it, folks. They're going. They're going. So
that's pretty
I sign every one. I sign every one of them too.
Right on the record, right?
No, I'm going to do it on the album art. Yeah, I was going to say I don't want to do that. Maybe I could sign in the label, but I don't know.
Right.
I was originally going to have them all shrink wrapped, but then what happened was I was like, people were asking if I could sign it. I was like, what's the point? I got to pay extra money to have them shrink wrapped.
You'd have to cut them up.
Yeah, it's like everyone. So I might as well just, pack it neatly and sign it. So I can't wait. So it's going to be a cool experience also to kind of read the comic, maybe also with some of the tracks on there.
Oh, really? You haven't done that for yourself yet?
I have.
You have.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How's that feel?
It's surreal. It's surreal. That's the one cool thing about this crazy time we live in with this social media and the internet is that we have things at our fingertips. You could shrink them after you sign them. I guess I have to find out how to shrink wrap them because that's pretty cool.
I wonder if it'd be like one of those machines, you run the thing over it and it kind of just melts it together or something, like when you put vegetables in the freezer.
I guess, yeah. I never did it before, so I have to. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Okay, I'll see. I want to make sure I'm going to do that. I don't ruin anything.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because there's only 100 made. That's it.
Oh, really? So you have that's the minimum order, or like that's you overprint?
That's the minimum order, and also I didn't know if this was going to do well.
Right.
So I said, you know what? First pressing. If you're here for it, I appreciate you, and just 100, and you're going to have the red record. So if for some reason, if this is successful, I would do a second one, and that would be a different color record. So maybe that one, the second one,
it's going to be black or white, really, to stay.
That's what I was thinking. It's either white or black. That's it. And then third pressing would be the white or something like that. And the font,
yeah.
Or maybe white would be next. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah. Oh, second pressing with white blood splatter. We could do that.
Ooh. I suppose they could do that, couldn't they? I don't know.
Oh, they might be able to.
I see like they do like you see in Target, like it'll be like translucent orange, or this is yellow with blue spots on it.
Sure,
like that.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It really genuinely is exciting. So yeah, we'll see.
So I was trying to think of a couple of questions just to kind of. I was like, okay, do I have any icebreakers just to make sure? Now this I think we squished that thoroughly now, but when you're writing your stories, okay,
yes.
Do you when you watch movies, you see how you get like a successful movie and then the next movie's got to get bigger, and then the next one's got to top that, right? It's and sometimes it works, sometimes it falls apart. Right. Do you believe that's your approach to Blood Realm? You got to top yourself, or do you try to get yourself to a certain level and then maintain that? You know what I mean? Like it's another adventure. It's the same level as the first. Or do you just, you know what I mean? Like try to, I want this bigger. I need bigger monsters. Oh my gosh, I need more interconnected storylines and things like that.
That's a good question. Well, I guess definitely trying to make it, quote, better. But it's more so about making it exciting enough for me to want to create it. So I guess I don't, it's the truth,
Yeah.
Because I have other ideas with big this, big that, but I may not be passionate about the story itself. And like, do I want to spend a year, roughly, or more? Because then this has been a year in the works. This miniseries,
right?
And still, we're still doing it because we need the funding to wrap it up.
Yep.
But hey, we're talking almost like a year and a half. I have to love this storyline that. I'm going to want to dedicate a year and a half of my life to this, and time is precious in our short lives,
Yeah.
So I have to have fun. Oh, look at Dr. Mess. If you're not having fun, what is the point? Right, exactly.
So do you find...
I need to have fun. I need to have fun. So I try to make things unique and different to keep my interest up, and so the readers feel that, oh, he's definitely having fun with this. Oh, he's having fun. Because if I just do it because I feel like, well, I guess I should just do something big with big creatures, but I'm not thoroughly in love with the story, you know what I mean? Then it's going to come across as like, oh, he's kind of bored here. Well, we've read this before. Okay.
So do you ever get to a point where it's like okay, I know I'm not excited about this scene, but this kind of needs to happen to get to the next scene? This is like a very necessary kind of a step, like maybe some exposition, some pipe laying kind of stuff or something where you just like, this has to happen. Not excited about it, but do you ever have that? Or do you feel like you can like navigate around that to something crazier?
If I feel that, then it can't go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if it feels like I just have to just have the reader get through this part so this other part can be enhanced, I need to love everything. I need to love every moment, every page, every idea, then it's the whole thing, the whole gamut. So Yeah, that's totally key.
You could have yourself like some guy that's constantly trying to explain what's going on, but keeps getting beaten up halfway through.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you
The
gotta
most
have.
unlucky beggar.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you gotta have that. That's important. That's a really good question, Stat. It's a really good question.
Oh, thanks. Tripped into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I see that in storytelling sometimes, where it's like they want to catch the reader up, so they'll just have two people in a room talking over like a beer or
it's so
something like
boring.
that, or coffee, and it's like, we just gotta. Everybody wants, I think, to have that Doc Brown scene from the first Back to the Future, where he's running around and he's screaming stuff left and right, and you're watching him and he's throwing things and writing things, and you're like, wow, this is really great, but you don't realize it's all exposition that he's dumping on you.
Yeah,
but it's so much action that's going on where he's like, oh my gosh, and then I got the DeLorean, and you're just like, wow. And then you realize, holy crap, he just gave me like 3 paragraphs worth of stuff I needed to know.
It was a lore dump. Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick one thing that had to have that, but I was excited about every page because I was so excited for the reveal. It was volume 8 when the character Chiron Morvel, when he's in the new time period in the future, he asked questions to the Unbridled One. What the heck happened? You know, how did it get like this?
Right.
Because last I was here, Mordrin did not look like this. Oh, thank you. So, I had to explain the history of what took place, but I wanted to make it exciting and powerful in each page. So yes, it was necessary to get through this little type of lore dump, but wouldn't want to call it a lore dump. It's more about reading a history book or finding this old manuscript, about what happened in this age, because for Chiron, it was just mere seconds ago. He was in a whole nother time period.
Yeah. Well, now there is sometimes it's necessary to slow things down, so people don't get battle fatigue.
Right.
So how do you suppose you handle those quiet moments? Like, what's your favorite way to kind of like, not really a spoiler, this is more of like a I guess a technique situation, but because you have to have some quiet moments, a couple people talking by a river or something like that before like a big battle, or like in Gladiator, the moment before the big battle at the beginning where they're all standing there and Maximus is talking
we
to
have
general,
moments like that,
tense, but there's nothing going on really.
Yeah, you have to have that because it needs to move the story in some way. So it's not like it's just sitting there static, like you said. It seems like it, but really we're getting to know the characters and their reactions and how they deliver their lines, how they express themselves in their facial features.
Sure.
How they carry themselves in their posture.
I suppose that's how you make it exciting on the page.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Body language.
Yeah, the body language is key. I mean, the comic artist is the actor as well. So you need to really show that emotion in the eyes, in the mouth, and in the way they're speaking, because the reader can't hear it. They hear it in their head, but they're also creating a sound or delivery based on the art that's given. So if someone's saying something sad but they don't look it, then it's like, well, what's going on here?
I'm a very big preacher of being able to tell what your character is thinking with the look on his face.
It's key.
You know what I mean? Like I think it was Ollie Johnson, one of the 9 old men from Disney, that he was obsessed with body language, and like if you had no dialogue, you'd still know exactly what was going on with that character through his eyes, through his facial expressions, and like how he's slumped over, or how he's standing up straight with his chest out, or something like that. Like, and I think that level of, I suppose that would be cartooning, is pretty essential in comics, even when you've got a more realistic style. I think. Yeah. No,
that's a good point.
For even slower scenes, if you've got somebody like getting indignant and they puff out their chest and they say, "How dare you, sir?"
Sure. Yeah, no, that's all important. How they deliver those lines, how they appear, that posture. It's so key. You need that.
Oh, and I noticed you're practiced at that. I think the first time I really noticed it was second volume, when they got into this cave and there's this dark creature eating there. right? And you find out, spoiler alert, that it's an old soldier, or it's
Right.
like an old, and he kind of got inflicted with this stuff, and he's kind of begging, just kill me now, do it, please, I'm pain, that kind of thing. I felt like you nailed that scene.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a moment I couldn't wait to get to. I was like, man, because building up to something, and then just imagine they think they're gonna get there, and there's all these monsters, and they think, what are these hideous creatures? And it's them, it's the men they're trying to find. They're all twisted and corrupted now. It's like, oh man. And then like this great warrior here who's begging for death now. This brutal, ruthless, top of the line. Greatest warrior within the Satrian ranks. He's part of the Scorn Legion, the deadliest fighters that Gorn, this group that he put together, this squad. And there he is, and he's this beast, and he's begging to be released. It had to be powerful.
That was a great moment, and I mean, I've come across a few of those moments throughout your thing. 'Cause, I mean, I will say, like, it's not exactly not known, but I mean, like, big, long, sprawling sci-fi type epics like Dune have never been my thing. Like, the closer you get to just sci-fi, straight sci-fi, lots of philosophy and walking around long hallways in space, talking about like, like, where do we come from? Is there a god? It was never for me, and I was a little worried when I saw this. Like, is this going to be like Dune? Am I going to be suckered into it? So I gave it a try, and I was like, all right. Okay, he didn't. He didn't Dune me.
He didn't Dune me. He didn't Herbert me. Okay, good.
That's right. And I don't know if that was any part of influence, but it did not come across for me because
Dune. Oh no, I had never. I only read Dune. What was it, during COVID for the first time?
God bless you. You got through it.
I did. I enjoyed it. I I understand. Why it is very popular. I could see why, but was it? Did I want to seek out the sequels? No,
No.
I enjoyed the first one, and in my opinion, it was good there. I thought that was a great ending. So I don't know how it continues, but
I went with my friend who's a huge Dune guy to the both of the movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I had a reaction.
Wait, which one? The very original?
Both of these. Well, I saw that. The old Kyle MacLachlan one back in the day with Sting, but no, these newer ones.
Oh, okay.
And I had a reaction, I think, akin to you with the Green Knight. I was like, I was begging for my own death by the end of that. But he was like, no, you will live.
I did not see the sequel. I did not fully 100% dislike the first one.
Okay. But very cinematic.
Yeah, it's more of the visuals that I really liked about it. More of the visuals.
How dare you, Citizen Ronan? Show us on the doll where Herbert Duned you.
Oh my god.
In slow motion, it'll take 3 hours to do that because that's how Dune was.
Oh,
I love watching sand fall from a guy's hand for 3 hours before he goes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh shoot! But I mean, yeah, that's it. So I mean, I like the pace that you're at with the series. It seems like it moves at a quick clip, but at the same time, you're able to kind of hold on to certain things, moments. And I can go back to the first one with the Sisters of Silence, making their little trek. When you get down to it, it wasn't, it was a very A to B to C moment in their thing, but it was there was plenty there to kind of ruminate on, which is what caught me off guard at first, because I've said it before, like I waffled a little bit on getting the series because I'm like, I don't know, man, is it for me? Blood Realm sounds scary, dangerous.
I know, that's what's funny, right? People think like, oh, I'm not into this gratuitous violence. I was like, it's not about. Is this going to be like
somebody's jump roping with guts and eating that?
My god, that's a good idea for a villain. I could see the Satrians do. The Satrians could do that. I could see.
Yeah, I suppose they could. Is this going to be some torture porn stuff? I don't know what
Definitely
this is.
Definitely
not. But no, I like it, and I'm liking the one thing that I don't mind about Dune, and I kind of see it in here too. Is you've got. And I suppose the same with like Game of Thrones or whatever like that. Or Elder Scrolls. I mean, you've got different races, and each race plays like its own personality.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
key. That's
if
key.
you put it all into one specific person, this is aggressive. This is like scary. This is like up at night. This is these kind of things. And then you've got your little sub personalities within it. But I do like. It's kind of like the old Grand Theft Auto 2 game where you had the different gangs and they all had like there's the psychos and there's like the mobster guys and stuff.
Yeah,
and if you help one, the other ones get really angry at you. And the more that happens, the more they go after you. You know what I mean?
And everything.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's a little bit of that in stuff like this, which I really like because not only is each kind of like environment that they live in sort of a character, but the entire tribe's a character, and then you got the characters within the characters. So I mean, a lot of hey, Citizen Ronan, welcome to the nest. Says story pacing is always important, and especially in a story is released in installments.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I personally like what you're saying with the pacing, because I have a page, I would say, constraint or restriction, it forces me to tell a more concise story, whereas I can go on and on and on, That's the fear of that. And that's what a lot of, even my own students do when we're working on storytelling. I have one who she just always adding. And then what happens is she gets so overwhelmed she hates her story. And it's
right.
Listen, just tell me a day in the life of this one character. In fact, why don't you just tell me what she does in an hour? That's it. Like, what does she do within an hour time span? Stick with that. It's everyone wants to tell the massive epic. And it's just too much. You have to work to get to that and build your world and see if people want to stay in it.
Have your magnum opus be your first project.
That's oh my goodness gracious.
Well, it reminds me of this one writing exercise I remember reading about where this guy would have people write two of the same kind of thing. It's like, okay, so write it exciting and then write it as boring as you possibly can. And more often than not, the boring one was a better read because they would be putting in all the details. They'd be saying like the sweat was coming off his brow as, it was this, it was hot and da da da.
Sure.
Where the other one's like, he ran in and he was hot and he punched him in the face and got it up, like.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like just kind of an exercise. They're like, slow down, take a deep breath, tell them what they're seeing because they can't see it. It's words.
Right. No, that's true too. Yeah. And that's the thing with comic books, which is challenging for a lot of people too, is that you tend to repeat what's in the art when you're writing, and that's a big mistake. It's like, why am I repeating everything? Because the art can just speak for itself.
So you're saying like he hit him over the face and then it shows him hitting him over the face.
Exactly. Yeah, he hit him on the head and then he hits him on the head, and it's just like, this is getting redundant and boring, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Yeah, I suppose that's either a writer that I feel like that's like noir syndrome. You know what I mean? Like when you get the heavy narration boxes for like crime books and stuff like that, where it's like, I went on in, it smelled real bad. I saw this guy and he was kind of a mean looking character, and you see this guy and he's a mean looking character or something like that.
Right. There is a skill and something to be learned when you're writing comics, so you're not just repeating what's already spoken, That's what it is. It's spoken in the art.
And I kind of wonder if for the people that do their own stuff, I mean, all of it, like you, if it's a difference between writing the script out first and describing it to yourself so you remember what you're drawing, and then or writing it alongside your like layouts and stuff like that, where you can draw it and then say, okay, I'm going to put a quick caption box up here telling where it is, and then we can watch him fight somebody for 3 pages or something like that. A lot of different styles. Would you say that you are more, I don't know if I ever asked you this, would you say, because I've been getting into a lot of Euro comics lately.
Okay.
Square boxes, square dialogue boxes and balloons and everything and whatnot. But would you say that you're more influenced, whether it's American comics, Euro comics, or manga, in terms of how you do your page layouts?
Definitely European.
Is that right?
Yeah, definitely European comics, I would say for sure.
Okay.
Topi, Mobius, those are guys that really I would say, influenced the layout of what could be comics. You know, 'cause
Okay.
then Frank Miller, and I've talked about this before, Frank Miller, in terms of like, I love the idea of someone creating his world, his story, and he wrote it and he drew it. You know, the sole creator, his vision. I think that's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But Kirby was a big one too, especially
Mhm.
later in my life. When I say later, I mean like developing my art career.
Sure.
And, appreciating his work more and more every time I get older. Just every
Yeah.
time I forget it. He's just a master. He's the king, you know?
I think
And,
that's a pretty good gauge. Like, the more you learn about art, the more you see what Kirby did.
oh yeah, the more you
Looking
learn,
at it by itself, it's like, what the feck is wrong with his hands? They're like the size of baseball mitts. And why is everything square? And then you get
perfection. It's just
Right.
utter perfection and mastery of design. It's just wonderful to look at.
Mhm.
But Topi, for sure, Citizen Ronan knows him. He was the one
Mhm.
that really blew my mind in terms of, wow, that's
Write
kind
that
of
down.
like how I draw for fun, sketchy in my sketchbook, and like also the way his layouts are.
Mhm.
I was like, I guess when it was really cool to see that, because you know, you're like, wow, I don't draw exactly like this, but
Sure.
this is how I mess around. You know what I mean? This is what I thought no one would ever want to see this in a comic book. So when I saw him do that, I was like, okay, let me refine my skills, channel him more,
Mhm.
because this speaks to me. This is something I always wanted to do. And then it just kind of evolved with all my other interests, you know, with, like I said, Mobius and Frank Miller, and all of that
Mhm.
coming together really just helped make it what it is.
So now I was thinking about this today. I've got Wirehead,
Okay.
and that's fairly different from Blood Realm in terms of story execution, things like that.
Mhm.
Do you think that you've got any other side projects that you want to do that are just like, maybe now that you've got other people that are able to draw a little more Blood Realm or something like that, you think you've got something else maybe you want to try, like a different style out for yourself on to kind of
Like
fit the
story-
project more?
story
Maybe
content?
something a little, sketchier, like you're talking about, higher energy
Mhm.
type stuff. Because you did a children's book now,
Yeah, I did children's books way back before comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
and you've got Wirehead, and you got Blood Realm. So I'm
Yes.
wondering if is that something else you've kind of kicked around in your head? Like, I'd love to
Another
do
idea.
like a story about like I don't know, an ant that's
Okay.
solving a crime in his colony or something like that, and just really sketchy and very high energy type stuff or something like that.
No, I have to say no. No, I'm just
No,
no. Every time I just want
That's
to
good.
develop those two worlds. To be honest, Wirehead and Blood Realm. That's it. Every time I think of a new story idea that I may want to do, I'm like, well, how can I fit this in Blood Realm? Ah, there you go. So there you go. Like if I'm thinking about a new idea for a story, then I pivot and I say, wait a minute, before I develop this into another story, I already have this universe that I've created. Why can't I just build and expand on that universe with this new story idea?
That's great. That's I think one of the biggest problems with certain creators is they got so many ideas, and they get 5-8 pages into one, and they're like, oh man, it would be really cool if I had a gator that was like a cyborg, right? And he was like hunting people that killed his family. Oh, I'm gonna get started on that right away. And then they forget about their other thing, and then
that's a big
get about 8 pages into that before they go, oh shoot, I got this idea about this killer weather balloon. And then they start that or whatever.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
so it's-
unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
we have a short attention span for things, especially when things start to get difficult. So I think that's what happens. So
Yeah.
as we're creating the story, it doesn't become fun anymore when it's real and it's now we're in the thick of it. So
Pitch down Gator Cyborg. Perfect. I'm glad.
great idea.
I'm here to inspire. Dr. Mass says, I look at Kirby like Led Zeppelin. Not really my thing, but I appreciate what they contribute to their respective areas of expertise.
yeah, sure.
That's a fair
absolutely.
assessment.
Yeah, no matter what, even if you don't enjoy it, I mean, there's so much to be had in terms of like, first off, his writing and all of it. There's
Sure.
so much that he attributed to comic books.
Well, I was talking about this on X today, or Twitter. Either way, some people still like that older name. I mean,
Right.
if you like a guy, or you don't, maybe take a look at who it is he's influenced by, or that person's influence, and you'll probably open yourself up to a ridiculous world. I mean, I used the example of like Adam Hughes and Terry Dodson. You ever heard of Alfonso Mucha?
Alfonso Mucca sounds familiar.
Or Mucci. Yeah, he. If you looked at Adam Hughes' stuff, he. I think he's a French guy, and he has a lot of like thick lines that surround the central character, and then it's a lot of thin lines in the middle, or I mean, within that thick line. So, where'd it go? Hold on, I killed it. There we go, and we're back. So, wow, internet's going kind of slow today, huh? There we go.
Oh,
so it's
beautiful.
very like classical type stuff. I want to say he's
Yeah.
either Italian or he's French, but he's kind of known for, he's got this like really thick line that kind of goes
Gorgeous.
throughout the outside of the figure, and then he's got a lot of thin lines on the inside.
You know who he's 100% inspired by?
Mm.
Oh my goodness! Wow, it's Beasley. Are you familiar with Beasley?
No.
Not Simon Beasley.
Yeah.
So
So this is, I'm guessing, an older painter.
Yes.
Yes.
Same way. What is his name? Let's see. Oh man. I thought it was Beasley. Oh man, now I gotta find it. Okay, I'll find it.
Yeah. So it's
Thought it was Beasley. What's wrong with me?
but this is very traditional, like old style stuff. But yeah, if you were to look at Terry Dodson and Adam Hughes, they employ a lot of the same kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you take a look at your favorites and you go say, who inspired these guys? And you start finding art like this, and you go,
Right.
holy crap! And it just opens up a huge world of art.
Oh, Beardsley. There you go.
Beardsley.
Yeah, look that up.
Reminds me of the old
Beardsley.
Adam-
Aubrey Beardsley.
All right, let me see here 1 second.
It's very Art Nouveau.
Aubrey Beardsley.
Except that it's like in color. That's what it reminds me of.
Art. Let's try that. If I got it right. I think I did get it right. So it's black and white.
Yeah, black and white.
Black and
Art
white.
Nouveau. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it
Put
reminds me
this
of
one
that.
here. So, where is this? French or Italian or Spanish?
I think he's UK.
Easy. Oh, UK. Okay, so I suppose that would make
English.
sense. Sounds like okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'd never seen this stuff before.
Oh, he's a very popular illustrator, and oh my God, he influenced a lot of artists, a lot of comic book artists.
Wow.
In terms of his layout, you could just see it's very graphic in terms of the design, graphic design. It's magnificent.
Are you a fan?
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
Beardsley.
Interesting.
Great. He's got a
Yeah.
toppy look. Topi was inspired by him too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You see, that's what I'm talking. I love it, discovering new artists. That's the best way to go. You gotta keep on going backwards and backwards and backwards. You find these guys from the 20s. You say, who do they like? You find guys from the 1800s.
I know. After I was going through teaching about Jack Kirby to my comic history class, I was like, man, in my Amazon cart now is like every omnibus I could find of Jack Kirby, but I'm like, man, I can't afford all this.
Oh, I know.
Those
yeah,
omnibuses are expensive.
last year I picked up
God.
his this Fourth World trilogy.
That's the one I was
And-
gonna get.
Yeah, I got him in like separate installments, and then I think I skipped the Demon, but I got a Miracle, Mr. Miracle.
Oh, okay.
Well, so are those three? So Mr. Miracle, Forever People, New Gods, and then he did Machine Man with Steve Ditko. Some of those I
Yeah.
got too.
I really wish someone printed a collection of his, what do you call 2001 Space Odyssey?
Oh yeah. Dr. Mask is asking what time period Beasley
Yeah,
out there.
1800s.
1800s.
Around 1800s. Yeah.
Interesting. That looked. I suppose it could have been 1800s, but it looked a little more contemporary than that.
Let's see.
Talk about being ahead of your time.
Pretty
That's
sure,
amazing. Art Nouveau.
If I'm correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1800s. Late
1800.
1800s.
Well,
Yeah, he
sweet.
died at 25.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, very young. In 1892 or 1898 he died. So yeah, very young career. He was heavily influenced by Japanese woodcuts.
I could see
And,
that in that one I looked at. Like,
yeah.
I almost wondered if he wasn't. So he was like the first manga fan.
Yeah, well, that whole time period in the 1800s is when a lot of the Japanese woodcuts and prints were being shared in Paris and Europe.
Mhm.
It was the first time, and
It's like a fad
like
for them.
even the Impressionists, they were eating that stuff up. They were blown away. A lot of their colors were inspired by a lot of the Japanese prints.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting stuff. Well, okay, guys, we are at about 45 minutes. So we'll be cutting off the show a little bit early because Rob's going to be heading over to Pete's channel.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to get yourself another sweet conversation there.
Oh, yeah. We could go for another 5 more minutes, though, Stan.
I want to go for another 5 more minutes. That's just fine. What else you got to say about your campaign?
Well, we got the record. We got the comic. We have the collector box.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you this, guys. I'm really working my hardest to give you an unforgettable story. And this one in particular, talking about bringing it back to what we were talking about keeping yourself excited and, with your new stories within the universe. I couldn't be more excited about this chapter in Blood Realm. This chapter, in my opinion, is going to enrich what has already been written. You're going to go back to the older issues, and I really believe you're going to see it with greater depth with the characters, with the world, because we are really expanding the world of Blood Realm bigger than to a level we never saw before. So I'll make it 10 more minutes, please. Okay, I have no problem with that. Sure.
Welcome, Mutton Stippling Bot.
Hello, Mutt. Hello. So yes, and we're also including some epic monster battles in one particular, like the one you're looking at. We're going to be visiting a time period when the old beasts reigned and early civilizations of men worshiped them. So we're going to see that. So we're going to go back in time and everything. It's going to be a wildly epic story. My love of history, because I've been teaching art history for 10 years. We're going to see all of that stuff there. The influence of ancient Rome and ancient civilizations. I'm always fascinated by the fall of civilizations when I study this stuff and when I research. And, we're going to see the mages in power, but how did these humans... Because for those of you who have read Blood Realm, you know that humans were at the peak of their decadence. How did humans come to power? And that's what we're going to see. Now look at the magnificent art by Keir. That's Christian Rock. Whoa, sorry.
Yeah, this is Keir.
Yeah, that's Keir there. And it's just absolutely epic.
And then Christian Rossi over here just casually drawing an entire stadium full of people. Probably took him, what, a half an hour?
10 minutes. Don't be silly.
He had to go get something to eat.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. The artwork is tremendous, and I draw in it as well. I did issues 13 and 14 of this series, so you can get the entire collection of this volume right there on the right. You can see Dawn of the Wolf, $25. That's it. You get all of these issues, 32 pages each issue, folks. 32 pages, so it's jam packed. We're talking like 200 pages of content. And Juan Sanabria, he's in it too. So and we're just looking for the funding to wrap up the production of this epic.
I like this cover, by the way.
Thank you so much. That's done by me.
That looks great.
Thank you.
Talk about like sense of scale and
it fits, and there it is in my hands. It's real. It's real. I tell you, it's mine and it's real. So it's
that's
so
something.
Exciting. Original.
The collector box looks great too.
Yeah,
so you just tuck the comics in there, or is it like it wraps around kind of, or?
No, it's sorry. What is it tucked with comics?
No, is this different than the ones Pete does? Because this looks a little bit different.
The what? The collector box?
Yeah.
No, it's the same as the King Cryptid box. Same
okay.
style.
Okay. I was gonna say this almost looked a little. Then of course you get yourself $40 sketch commission with these sweet.
Oh yes, yeah.
Skull emblazed. Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, I mean, talk about the most bang for your buck. The featured perk gets you everything, for a really good price with the record, with the limited record.
Right.
Every issue, the collector box, the vinyl, and a sketch card commission, which is $40 alone right there. So I believe it's a really good deal. And t-shirts, if anyone's interested, to rep.
Trading cards.
Yeah, trading cards. Yeah, so
including the metallic Chiron Mormon.
yes, the foil card. Yeah, got the foil card there. That's right. So exciting stuff, and I really, really genuinely can't wait.
Jeez, I gotta say, these cards are like head and shoulders above what you were doing. Like what last year?
Oh
Year
yeah,
before? Like my
totally.
goodness,
Yeah, totally.
that's
I've
beautiful
really,
stuff.
thank you. Yeah, I've really got a good handle on the cards themselves and how to use them and good tools. So just really exciting time for Blood Realm, and I'm just so thrilled and excited to share this new story with everybody.
Start fire. When are you? When's it shipping?
October, but hey,
October.
I want to give myself extra time just in case, So
Right.
If we ship early, we ship early.
Sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so October. So we got. Oh, go all the way back up. Here we go. Come on now. So we got 16 days left to get that 33%.
Come on, let's do it.
77. Hey. No, never mind. It didn't change. Blast it.
Oh, you scared? Oh, I was like, what?
I was like, what? I scared myself. It was wanting it so bad, but
it was wanting it so
bad. I already got mine. I already got mine in. I'm getting mine. Dang it.
I'm getting mine. Dang it. Thank you, Stan. I really appreciate it.
Oh, of course. I'm excited. You've got, and it's just exciting. Also, in addition to having more of your work, having more story to read, you get a little, even more variety. So in terms of art and different things. So it's a heck of a value. For the amount of stuff you got going in here, even if you just get like say the 4 books.
Yeah. No, yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot.
But nevertheless, like this is, that's awesome because you're giving a lot for that. But come on, man, you go out in the alley and hold yourself up at gunpoint or something like that. Come on, man, do the sketch cards right now. Give it away.
I know. It's
but that
I'm
is
enjoying
awesome.
them all live too, of course.
Oh yeah, and you do what? Are you doing like one a day or a couple of days?
Yeah, one a day. I do one a day. Yeah. So hey, listen.
Okay.
But when I do the sketch cards, the commissions, I'll be doing maybe 2, 3. We'll see. But I can't wait. And I'm just very appreciative of everyone's support and got an epic story in store for you all.
Yeah, and once again, guys, if you haven't, this is for replayers as well. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, that's in the description below, so that you can watch these draw streams and you can say hello and you can chat with him on his channel while he draws live, or leave a comment in his comment sections. Interact that way, share that out, like him and stuff like that. And then of course, in addition to pinned to the top of this chat and in the description below, you can find the link for the Indiegogo here. If you can't back it now, back it later. Help him get to that 10,000 so that I can get my books. That's right. This is selfishness here. Screw Rob Geronimo. I want my books.
There you go. That's the attitude.
Oh shoot. Dr. Masters, if you haven't backed it, how do you sleep at night? That's right.
I agree.
That's right. You know what you need to do? You need to keep him from sleeping at night, because he said before, these are like a lot of these monsters come out of his nightmares.
That's true.
So
that's true.
So he sleeps at night and you get better stories.
Yeah.
He gets up bright-eyed. Well, I don't know about bright-eyed, like bags under his eyes. He's been tormented all night by these things, and he just goes right to the board and delivers you a great story.
And that's it.
That's it.
So.
It's a creative process.
Yeah. Oh man.
Some people get drunk like Kurt Vonnegut. Some people go and have bad dreams and get it on the page.
And listen, as long as it's authentic.
That's right. Dang it. And people can smell BS when they look on that page. Right. They know. They're like, this guy's a fake. No, not these. Not Blood Realm. I can assure you.
Right. Oh man.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Stat. This was great.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. It's always great having you around. And you're welcome back anytime, of course.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us and having a look at Blood Realm. Hope you can back it if you haven't, or share it out, spread it around. That certainly helps too.
Absolutely.
Go follow Rob on over to Pete's channel for more fun and great conversation, because we all know Pete's like freaking great at that.
Oh yeah.
You could be the most awkward person alive, and he'll be able to managed something pretty awesome. So I mean, and you're great at talking too. So between the two of yous,
Thank you.
it's always going to be a great show. I always have
Perfect.
fun, whether it's replay or live. All right, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. Get these books if you haven't. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next. We see you next.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.